Well, welcome back to AM Extra. A Pulitzer Prize-winning writer and author from Portland is out with a new book that dives into the fashion behind basketball.
Yeah, Fly, the big book of basketball fashion, takes a closer look at the iconic styles of professional basketball players and the cultural influences that shape them. And joining us on the couch now with more on the inspiration behind this new book is the author, Portland-born Mitchell S. Jackson. Good morning, Mitchell.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Fly is a little different from what you've done in your previous writing. So why'd you decide to go with a book about basketball and fashion?
Yeah, well, the idea wasn't mine. It was actually the publisher who brought it to me. But when they brought it to me, I had to reflect on whether or not it was a good use of time. And I started thinking about my very first piece of published writing, journalism, was in the Portland Tribune, and it was Almost Famous. It was about 3 local basketball players who didn't make it. That was 2001. And, you know, as you know, I played basketball here. I was at Jefferson High School. I played for Portland Community College. So basketball has always been, you know, and grew up in a basketball city. So it's always been in my blood. And then on the other side, I always loved fashion. And I think now the NBA is the forerunner in fashion in what's probably the most fashionable era of professional sports.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes walking in and out of the games, people are looking for as much as like what are they wearing as how are they feeling going into the game on the court. I had so much fun flipping through this book because it really is, the pictures are fantastic. It's equal parts kind of lookbook and cultural commentary. How did you bring all of this together in one publication?
Yeah, I'm glad that you said cultural commentary, because to me, like, if it were just the images, like, what was my part in that? And so I was really interested in, the more I started looking at what they were wearing, I started to ask questions like, why are they wearing this at this given moment? And then you have to think about, well, what are the cultural forces that are shaping what people, how people are presenting themselves? And that gets into questions of like freedom and agency and, you know, all of these things. So yeah, it really is, to me, as much cultural commentary as it is lookbook.
Yeah, there are certain parts of the book that concentrate on certain personalities. Of course, you got Michael Jordan in there, as well as people like Dennis Rodman, Russell Westbrook, you know, some of the stuff he wears. How did you pick the subjects that you were going to concentrate on in the book and their influences on fashion? Yeah,
well, I mean, that's a good question, because it's not just who was a good basketball player, right? Like, obviously, if you're an iconic basketball player, then you have influence, and we got to look at you, Dennis Rodman, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson. But there are also guys, and I think that's really gets to why we're in this moment, is because you can be a star off the court, right, in NBA fashion, and not really be a star on the court. And I think, you know, someone like PJ Tucker, who we interviewed for this, who is a basketball star. If you're in the NBA, you're a basketball star, but he isn't necessarily like a huge star in the league. But off the court, he's front row at fashion shows and getting different companies to sponsor him. So I think that really speaks to where we are in fashion.
Yeah, a lot of the pictures that are in the book show some of the players at like Paris Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week, you know. So they are really into this. This is not just something, oh, let me find something to throw on.
No.
They really think about what they're wearing.
Yeah. Well, even more importantly, they are hiring stylists to help them, right? And so they're professionalized this. It's not just, you know, what am I gonna wear? It's like they're bringing them a bunch of different looks and saying, wear this and pick that and don't do this. They're spending a lot of money on top of whatever they're paying for the clothes to actually present themselves the way they want to be seen.
It has become an aspect of their professional careers, certainly. Well, we can't talk about NBA fashion and not mention the Trailblazers. So I'm curious, who do you think are some of the most stylish Trailblazers?
So, Jeremy Grant, if you listening, I don't know where he is, but he's the most fly guy on the Blazers. I mean, maybe I haven't looked at everyone else that closely, but I think he was voted like newcomer of the year or something by League Fitch, which is one of the most important social networks. So I would say Jeremy. I mean, I look at Dame a lot because he's the star of the team, obviously, and I see him evolving over the years. So I do see him putting certainly a lot of effort into it. But I would say, I think Jeremy Grant is not only the flyest person on the Blazers, but one of the flyest in the league.
All right, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
High praise, Jeremy.
Briefly here, we got about 30 seconds left, but I just want you to address, there was a time when the NBA didn't like where it was going in terms of fashion. They actually put in rules to restrict what players were able to wear, right?
Absolutely. That gets back to the politics. It was the era of hip-hop and Allen Iverson, and had the Malice in the Palace. And, I mean, David Stern took agency and action against what he thought was kind of corrupting the way the league was being seen. And, you can't really divorce that from race and class and what was happening in the culture at the time.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for being here this morning, Mitch. I wish we could talk about it all morning. The two of you get to keep chatting about it later today.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's right. We got a thing at Powell's Bookstore, a reading at Powell's Bookstore, and a discussion. That's at 7 o'clock tonight at the main Powell's City of Books. And there will also be a book signing. Mitch will take questions from the audience as well. So, yeah, we're going to continue on with this and chop it up a little later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Author Mitchell S. Jackson, thank you so much for being here this morning. It's 7:47. Want to take you outside.